to one of his patients, and they start smashing. We'll just call the patient Mistress. Now, Doc is married with kids, but he doesn't care. He just keeps on smashing with Mistress on the regular. Now, Mistress isn't his only patient. Doc also has other patients, including one named Eric and another named Lyle, and Doc, he has regular therapy sessions with both Eric and Lyle. One day, in one of those sessions, Eric comes out and tells Doc that he and Lyle had unalived their parents. While Doc hears this and he continues to counsel them, he actually ends up tape recording one of their therapy sessions. So here's the thing about Doc. He apparently likes to flex. And when he's not at work, he likes to gossip about his patients to Mistress. And one day, he basically tells her, "And by the way, those brothers in the news, Eric and Lyle, they're my clients, and they totally unalived their parents. They told me so." And then, months later, Doc and Mistress's affair ends, and their breakup is apparently ugly, like real ugly. Allegedly, he assaults her. So Mistress, she gets pissed off, and she's like, "This guy." And she steals Doc's tape recordings of his session with Eric and Lyle. She takes them straight to the police because she wants to get Doc in trouble by accusing him of knowing about the murder but not reporting it. So police listen to the tapes, and they hear Eric and Lyle confessing to unaliving their parents. They go out and immediately arrest Lyle. Well, Eric turns himself in a few days later, so here's Eric's mugshot, and here's Lyle's. So now the brothers are in jail, and they're charged with murder, and they might get the death penalty for this. And this scares the shit out of them. So they sit in jail for 3 years before they finally get to go to trial. There, the state argues that Eric and Lyle unalived their parents because they wanted to inherit their parents' fortune, which is why they were out spending all that money. Eric and Lyle, they argue that they did it because their dad had subjected them to years of mental, physical, and sexual abuse. And they argue that getting rid of their parents was the only way out of that toxic situation. It's sort of a self-defense argument. Now, this self-defense argument is important because it would give them a manslaughter conviction instead of a murder conviction. And a manslaughter conviction would have a much lighter sentence. So 6 months later, both sides have made their argument and the trial ends. And unfortunately, they end up with a hung jury, so it's a mistrial. Then a year and a half later, they go back to court to try again with a new jury. But this time, the judge doesn't allow the brothers to present the allegations of physical and sexual abuse to the jury